time, ladies and gentlemen, to start the action yet again. It's Chalet. It's the pick coming in from DAMWON Gaming Kia, and we shall see if their prowess on this map will be enough to tie the series up at 1-1, or will Liquid continue to stride forward and get a 2-0 victory? Let's find out as we get into the bans.
Okay, well, let's see if there's going to be any interesting things here from these two. The last time we got a Zofia ban out of Liquid, trying to counter out RIN's play, but obviously that did not work out in the slightest. RIN, the most effective player on DWG inside of that last game, having double-digit frags, just making life quite hard for them. But either way, though, as we get into the ban phase, Flores will be the first one taken out here by DWG.
Yep, Flores making quite a bit of sense. He's been used fairly often on this map, as well as our other choke point heavy and setup heavy maps, what I'm tending to kind of drift towards and call them now, just because he's very good for dealing with utility in very easy fashion and at very minimal risk to the player that's using the operator himself, so that makes sense. Lion coming out there for Team Liquid, also making sense. DAMWON Gaming Kia used that a lot on the previous map, but is probably going to try and bring it out here too. Not anymore, it's been banned out. Valkyrie, so far the only like in-trend meta ban that's super straightforward here. She's universally useful. Get her out of here. Same thing for Mira.
Yeah, just Mira, you can leave.
We don't really need to explain it.
Valkyrie, you can go. It's fine. Lion, you're all right. I would say that the two most meta things here obviously would probably be Flores and Valkyrie.
Yeah, Flores too.
Mira's
starting to
just
become one.
So unbelievably obvious. Like at this
As
point
she
in time,
has been for years now.
Since bans were put in, she has been one of the most banned operators in the entirety of the game. It's like her and Thatcher for the respective sides. So, and you know, obviously Valkyrie soon working her way in there as well. As soon as everyone was like, well, we could just take away the black eye cams and your ability to run out Nitro Sell Me and that MPX and just everything you could possibly want as somebody that wants to be annoying on defense. Yeah, let's just remove that. So we're going to have that inside of this game as well. So going to be lacking a little inside of that info department, but nothing that DK cannot handle. We're jumping into the map now, folks, as DK will start off on Games Bar.
Heavy focus on traps mitigation as well as delay coming in on the setup for DAMWON Gaming. 2 trap operators coming into the fold, as well as 2 ways to mitigate things, and the smoke to delay at the final moments of the round. The most important thing is going to be those Rooney gates, as well as the potential deployment of the toxic base later on in the round. The frost traps, yes, those can be impactful, but that's more of a chance piece of utility at the end of the day there. And as well, if you can challenge the entry against those traps, a great distraction to potentially win a gunfight against a player that might be hopping in. So those will go out. We've started to see Frost have a massive increase to her play rate over the past couple of months, and this map is a large part of the reason as to why. So let's see if she, along with the rest of this defensive setup from DAMWON, will have any impact.
Yeah, the ideas really started to rotate around the community when it came to Jim's bedroom on Clubhouse. We started to see a lot of Frost play there, as well as Frost having the 1.5 at a moment there. Obviously, they took it away from her just a little bit ago, but right now, she's still in a positive light, which is really, really good, honestly, because Frost is one of those operators that was kind of a meme for a really long time. She really didn't have a place inside of the meta. And the funniest thing about it is her effectiveness was highly effective against low-tier players and the highest tier of players. The middle ground is where she had 0 effectiveness at all. And finally, starting to see some more play inside of Pro League overall, which is just awesome to see. So, for Woogiman, he'll be holding things down upstairs. It's going to be a smoke, and it'll give him a really solid angle, though, to still look at this window. Frag grenade out here for Liquid that does very minimal damage. Can the second one get a positive shot? It will. Ooh. Actually, the red indicator, but Woogieman's still alive, and he'll be able to get out.
Falls back. The job is done. He's wasted time. Coted, though, also going to take some big heat here, and he'll have to fall back as more than likely as a result of that as well. Not the greatest start for DAMWON Gaming. The good news is they kept both of those players alive, so they're still, at least to some extent, in fighting shape here to play out and more than likely cause delay for Liquid as we go further into the round. More important to note, too, there's obviously no indicator of damage for Team Liquid, so they're not necessarily going to know how low they are unless they saw those nades as well as the damage against Coted go off there. So Liquid won't necessarily be able to react too heavily to the reduced HP just as of yet here. Regardless, though, Liquid is getting enough control to be able to push themselves into the inside of the library. They should be able to take that without too much of an issue, but they still have to watch out for bottom to top angles and the frost traps, of course. That'll be taken care of quickly, but the bottom to top angle is revealed after the frost trap is shot away. Nesk makes it in, but Sexy Cake goes down, and the first kill of the round goes to DWG.
Wouldn't you know it, once again, DWG with the pick going into the last minute. 2 very low health individuals, though, on their squad that possibly have a big implication going into this last minute as well. Nesk will take down one of those that we were speaking of, and the likes of Coted, Woogiman still being the other one. Obviously, no healing ability for DWG on the defense here. Thunderbird obviously not in competitive play, and Doc not picked up, so won't be able to assist them in any regard in that department. But that doesn't mean that DWG is going to slow down. It'll be PSK to strike next, though, as he'll take down Yass with that DMR. Ren finally firing back from the top floor will take out Nesk. Don't get me phone call out as well, so solid information here for Liquid going into the 30-second mark.
Muringa with a very important pickup there to finally put the advantage back into the favor of Liquid, reducing the defense down to just 2 points as well. CATsasng rotating out for the main site. He knows the pressure's about to get very hot in there, so does not want to be there when the rotates come through. Fails to account for the blue rotate, however. Thought Woogiman would have had it covered, but he only has it for 1. Takes out the trade there, brings us down into a 2v1. Unfortunately, lets Paluh run across and get into the site. He'll need to deny this plant. He needs to do it right now. Goes in, wants to commit to this swing, but no, the planter will go down onto the ground. Now there's a lot more time to play with. Yes, Woogiman now needs to move in here and successfully take out both these players. No longer can he deny on the timer, and unfortunately he's going to run out of time as Paluh commits himself to the swing to shut down that final member of DK and put Liquid on the board first.
Shout out to Woogie-Man's mechanics, though, because he was literally one shot for that entire fight, and his protection over his hitbox was just immaculate there. So not able to get the round, but some positive stuff still happening here for DWG. That first round going to go to Liquid after a very solid take of the top floor. Lots of damage early on prevented DWG from handling Library how they wanted to. Liquid hop in to get control. Obviously, that first initial pick going the way of DWG, but Liquid fire back almost immediately, especially for PSK.
It's been a bit of a theme so far throughout the 2 maps we've seen so far. I think that obviously in quite a few of our group stage matches, the first kill has become very important for determining who will potentially at least have that like massive advantage going into the final gunfight. I'd say it's so far been pretty irrelevant inside of most of the rounds we've seen in this game, which is a far cry from what I've been seeing throughout a lot of the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, I would completely agree. And, well, we are going to have a Rooney out on the field here, and no, I will not be making an attempt at laser gates, folks. I promise you. I already told Des and Ace I won't try again. I need lessons. I know. But either way, though, I told him, what did I tell him? I said they'll have me all tea and crumpets in no time. That's what I said. So either way, though, DWG are going to be changing up the bomb sites, and I honestly have to agree with them in this regard. Personally speaking, Master and Office just has a little bit better play in certain moments, and I think this is a site that DWG are going to do a very bang-up job on simply because of the way that Liquid are more than likely going to come in from that Library side and have to work Office. This is going to give them an opportunity to have a lot of these gunfights that they know and love.
Let's see if...
Nice rotation there as well for Stock.
Yeah.
Going to drop him right down inside of this area. And this is honestly going to be another really cool rotation that if he does get caught up downstairs or they try to cut him off in any other area, he can actually go right up blue, straight into games, and actually just drop right back into that stairwell. So this is a very safe area for Yass to play from, and that's more than likely why he's gotten this set up. As for Liquid, they're going to start working the map now. 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining for them, so still plenty of time, obviously. No real change-ups in the offensive utility here. The biggest thing for Liquid being PSK currently as Dokkaebi. They've gotten so much out of these phone calls so far.
See, that is the first one's going to roll out right now from PSK. Obviously, he's going to call all of these defenders. Just giving out some info for the new players here that might be joining our stream for the first time. As you can see, it's going to force rotations for quite a few of these players because they can disable it. And Rin tries to go aggressive again, nearly wins it, and Paluh says, no. Not only am I taking you down, I'm taking you out with a Gone 6 as he finishes them off nice and quick. They're surviving with a little under 25 HP.
I have never even seen that weapon inside of the kill feed. That was pretty comical. At the end of the day, Rin gonna fall after a very influential coastline. He'll at least be sitting on the bench for round 2 here. Office will get popped open here for Liquid as they start to use this utility game into their own favor, but still have a lot to burn through here. As the laser gates have indeed been set up on this forward wall, the south wall here, for Office. So they're going to actually have to attempt to burn that, as well as this deployable shield here for Coted that has an ADS in tow. So a lot of utility that they're going to have to utilize, but they have quite a few options here. Number 1, Muringa with the EMPs from Thatcher, an operator that we see banned out all of the time, but available here because of the Flores ban. So we'll have to see if they're able to get anything further done with that. Those EMPs obviously being used to turn off the ADSs inside of Piano, so they can try and get some pressure inside of that area. But it's only really going to be some damage back onto Paula as we go into the last minute.
Nesk trying to lock in for an aggressive swing. DAMWON Gaming are going to give it to him. So far, no dice, however, as that player tucks himself safely just under the half-wall barricade there. It's Coted on the other end of this equation. Now that we get a picture from his POV, he's going to continue to sit here, wait for the aggression to come his way. This is that SAS kit we've been talking about, how it's been so potent. Even at just this tournament here, the shotgun combined with the SMG-11, giving you that perfect combo of ranged and long range, and close range fighting capability. As I'm continuing to talk, though, Liquid are tearing apart this attack here. That is, of course, until the swings come out from DAMWON Gaming. They trade out 2 more, but it's all for naught. Yass is left as the last player alive here in the 1v3. He's going to try to make a push forward here. Denying the plant, probably not going to happen, but hey, a free one against Muringa. He'll take that all day, every day. Oh, okay, PSK.
Oh my God.
Almost messed up there, my friend, but thankfully saves it at the last second. Still has to actually get it down onto the ground here, though, and thankfully we'll be able to do so, but then gives away the opportunity for a triple kill on Yass. He needs to go for the quad to shut it down, and it might just be a very easy task. Paluh has under 25 HP. He did get that nice kill earlier versus RIN, but he needs one more to solidify this round. And with 30 seconds left, it might be difficult to pull off here. However, Paluh has the read on Yass, can shut him down, and saves what was becoming a very scary round there for Team Liquid.
Ooh, little sweat there on the brows of Liquid.
I mean, you can see that they were like face-palming, even like, ooh, guys,
well, yeah,
get it together here.
A major oversight there, a major oversight. They're at least able to trade down to clear out the site, but after Yass simply just comes up Solarium, he's going to get 2 kills. The second one, I'll be really honest with you guys, that should have never have happened. The fact that he even tried to cross to that window is a problem. You should never have tried to do that, because especially with the way that DWG have been playing, he's going to try and pressure you as soon as that case comes down, and, well, you end up getting caught off guard. So Liquid going to make it through the skin of their teeth, up 2-0 currently on DWG.
So Paluh excelling there as a result
How
of
dare
that
you.
double. 3 tweets incoming as he's able to pick up that double kill inside of the round, including the very nice denial against RIN, who is being managed quite nicely by Liquid on the inside of this. RIN trying to bring out those aggressive swings, but so far a very hit or miss record. However, RIN's been able to control himself quite nicely, though, and in quite a few of the rounds, at least back on Coastline, has been able to kind of save himself for late round initiations as well, where we have seen some great impact also. Just not been able to see that just as yet in this map, but hey, we're only 2 rounds deep. Plenty more opportunities for him and the rest of DK here to step things up and try to pick up some rounds on their defense before the half closes out.
Yeah, and that's the big thing for DWG. You and I talked about it when they played Clubhouse, I believe the last day of group stage, that this team, whenever they're on defense, they're the ones that set pace, and that's what makes them so unbelievably scary, but they haven't had the opportunity, to do it up against Liquid here on Chalet. So look to be seeing that inside of these early round engagements. You need DWG to jump ahead here and really set pace on Liquid, because that's when Liquid has usually slowed down and really not had an opportunity to fix things in the later round. I have no clue how that even happened.
Coted even at?
Can you go down to the B bomb site? Oh no!
What?
He was making the hole, John, and he shot him through the head because he crossed the angle. Oh, dude, that's not good. That's a mental break there. Like, right now, this is where DWG, like, this is where the mental game starts to come into play.
I would
honestly.
not be surprised in any capacity we just see a pause come in the next round just for DAMWON Gaming to kind of chill out for a second here, because that's very frustrating. Obviously, they wouldn't have really been able to avoid that situation. Just one of those times where the stars.
What a worse operator to do it to as well.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was the smoke. Like that's just one of those times that the stars unfortunately align, and it does not play into your favor in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, this isn't those beautiful pictures that you take for your Instagram. This is like the 1700s when you didn't know what an eclipse was and you were just screaming.
Muringa going to continue to push the advantage here for Team Liquid as he finds the technical first kill of the round yet again for his squad, knocking out Coted and RIN, now both down on the ground, leaving only Woogiman, CATsasng, and Yass left alive here for DWG to fend off the rest of this attack from Team Liquid. CATsasng and Yass also very far from the site at this point too, so if Liquid had the correct drone intel, they could capitalize upon that and absolutely jump onto it. However, rotates are starting to move back over towards the site itself, so that factor is going to go away pretty shortly. At the same time, Liquid still need to open up a couple of things before they're going to feel confident to move in, most notably the dining room wall for themselves. Phone call coming out here also to try and figure out where those last 3 players are going to be positioned. DK can't even really afford to end the phone calls at this point. They need to watch every single corner because they're at such a disadvantage.
And this is just going to be a very difficult round moving forward for DWG, simply because of how Chalet plays to the offensive favor. You can see Liquid have every avenue to try and get in behind them locked down. They know that DWG are always looking to try try and equalize, so they want to prevent that from happening. Obviously, the plant is more than likely going to be looking for a dining plant here. Some nice shots here from Woogiman, and he'll be able to find one. And oh, well read there by Paluh. Just looks to the inside, able to take down Yass. Woogiman going to continue to try and fish from kitchen, though, into the breach angle, but this is where Sexy Cake lies. Another Doke call out here. Well, actually, no, not a Doke phone call. Excuse me. It was actually the cam hack instead. So we get some extra cameras here for the last 20 seconds, but now Cat seemingly knowing where the West main player is, but gets taken down from Sexy Cake, not realizing that he still has to worry about the breach angle. It's up to Woogiman to try and close this out. He'll be able to get one, flicks behind him, but not aware of PSK pressuring in from West main. It's going to be Liquid with 3.
Is it weird that DWG Gaming look the most threatening when they're in a 1vx so far on this map?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what's hilarious to me?
Like, I'm not wrong, right?
I keep saying this in my head. I just don't want to say it on broadcast, but it's like, why are you doing this in a 1vx and not regularly? It's you know, and that's the kind of the thing that we've been talking about with them inside of the low man count situations in general. Is like, if you have a 2 versus 4, they're more apt to win it simply because of the way that they're able to take these gunfights. It just seems that you know, they don't really feel like the opportunity is there until it's do or die.
I hate to like drift into like hypotheticals and whatnot.
Oh, it's okay, man.
I don't have as much experience in that department, but I feel like almost to a certain extent it's DWG Gaming trying to rely too much on their teammates. You know, saying like, yeah, I got this cut off, I have this angle established. You don't need to swing it and things like that. And then they either ultimately die when the fight is pushed towards them, or they don't have that cutoff established. And as a result of that, things fall apart a lot more quickly.
Yeah,
just a theory.
No. I see. I definitely see what you're getting at. I think that the thing, especially, is also the map difference here. This map, obviously, a little bit more utility play. Not to say that Coastline doesn't have that, but Chalet obviously more. And the other thing about this map is that obviously Coastline, yes, abusable by offenses, but Liquid are doing such a very solid job of clearing things across, making sure that DWG can't try and get in behind them, and constantly pressuring these areas, as well as they've since obviously played DWG on Coastline. They see how they constantly maneuver around the map. I mean, when you have Paluh looking into the corner of a window to make sure that no one's sitting there just waiting for him to jump in.
Tracing the outline.
Yeah, exactly. So you see what I'm getting at. Is like they are glaringly aware of the situation that's going on inside of this building here.
So let's see now if Team Liquid can get that grasp yet again against the DWG setup. As it's going back down into the bar games room, we shall see if that'll work out once again for DWG. They'll have that usual extended play over into Library. Liquid, at least for 2 of their players, going to be avoiding that by trying to put pressure on a Solarium and possibly same side Garage here too. Trying to see exactly where Sexy Cake was heading towards. Ends up not being in that department of the map. However, Paluh on his own, a little bit closer to the primary setup. Still looking at possibly entry in from the middle of the building, however, but after everything is said and done, he's going to rotate over to the side entry, just by the first floor entrance to the main part of the map over there by the site. So continue to see him wait that out as Liquid will now entry in from the Solarium side and begin to take the large majority of the map control for now.
If RIN's brain is that unbelievably big to where he's just going to hold that angle for K9 and somebody's going to come to the K9 door and die, I'm going to lose my marbles. But they are indeed going to drone RIN out, so that's a positive thing here. It'll back RIN off into the deployable shield setup for Library Balcony that we all know and love. So we'll see what they're able to accomplish with this. Also have Coted here for the top of blue. That'll be the cutoff, trying to apply pressure to Liquid and slow them down from taking top control. Usually what we see here, at least from the offenses of the past on this map, might have been DWG, but I cannot exactly remember off the top of my head. But it was indeed the office clear here. And he's just simply trying to pop that wall to apply some pressure to Coted's position. He's going to get pressured out now, though, as his ADSs will be burnt down. Deployable shield gone. And he's still going to continue to try and hold on to this, but that was ill-advised as Nesk is able to bounce one downtown.
Basketball Month's been really impressive for Neighbor, coming in from all of our R6 teams here. Everybody's giving us these really impressive banked angles. And again, it's so unfortunate for DK. They have all this positioning, they have all this aggressive prowess, but they're unable to leverage any of it into anything successful here in the early to mid round. Woogiman, Coted, and RIN, and now CATsasng as well, falling to pieces on the inside of our 4th round in the 2nd map. And Yass, the hope of DWG Kia, now the last one alive, and he's not even going to come close. Picked off by the Blue Stairs player. That's a very flawless round coming in from Team Liquid.
This is where Liquid gets scary. Their ability to not only take the gunfights, but their team play in synergy. It's just masterfully done from there. I love what muringa did with the smoke up top as well. If you saw that, he was able to cross across the angle there. We don't get to see that happen very often inside of Rainbow Six Siege, so always cool to see when it does happen. Liquid up 4-0 on DWG right now, and well, we had 4-4-4 the last time, but it's in the death department now for DK, as well as a lot of ones coming in here for RIN, CAT, and Coted.
Yeah, unfortunately, again, this is just the aggressive tendencies that normally work out and is normally the trademark of DWGK that we've been seeing so far at this major anyway. Liquid's right into it. Liquid knows exactly how to counter it, especially now that we're not on coastline where you have so many more aggressive possibilities and the attackers have to watch just far too many angles. It's much more straightforward now to Liquid to counter all this out, and it's going very similarly to as we saw in some of their group stages games versus Empire, where Empire had to completely change up their strategy mid-game, start playing this very passive, very bunker-heavy site-style setup to finally get some rounds on the board on their defense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about trying to maintain that utility going into those last moments to try and thwart Liquid's plans, and DWG just have not been able to do that. A lot of the time trying to hold on to map control, which is something that Liquid really set up for everyone when it came to SI 2021. That was a big difference that everyone saw. You guys more than likely heard Pangu talking about it as well. But that means that Liquid is used to this. They know that you're going to try and stick around this area and, you know, maintain that angle, try and get some picks, try and catch somebody off guard. So they're going to just continue to apply pressure there. And that's exactly why Liquid were able to get that big frag onto Cody the last time. That really popped everything off on that top floor and really made the rounds way too difficult for DWG to try and bring back.
Still going to be a very similar flair here from DAMWON Gaming, so the possibility of the same chain of events is still very much alive here. DWG Kia looking to try and line up these aggressive swings to get the advantage early on versus Liquid, but so far that strategy has not panned out in any way, shape, or form as of yet. As you can see by our scoreboard, it's a different site to play into this time, so the extension specifically in the library might fall back quickly. RIN can't get the lock on his opponent immediately. His opponent on the other side of this one, Paluh, knows exactly where he's at. RIN's gonna go for the pistol fight though, and it's not gonna work out. Paluh beats him out again. That's another 1v1 between those two players, going by the way of Paluh, and another opening kill advantage into Liquid's pocket.
Yeah, whoever's running highlights, you're gonna want that one, because I don't know if you guys saw this, but Paluh tried to shoot him with the Gon 6.
Oh, did he really?
He ran out of ammo with the G36C, swapped to the Gon 6, and then tried to kill him with the Gon 6.
I can't believe
I don't even know if you can do that if you hit them in the head, because I've never really had a reason to try. So, yeah, Liquid able to get the kill onto RIN with the most outlandish play out of West Main I have seen in quite some time that almost got him a kill. But either way, we're about halfway through the round now as Office is beginning to be bunker busted here by the exothermic charge of Sexy Cake. Blows open that wall, but obviously they'll still have to deal with these laser gates.
Well, Paluh's probably feeling pretty confident if he's making plays like that. That's one thing we can note on.
Or he forgot that he had a Gon 6. One of two things happened. We'll never know.
He was like, oh, you use pistol? He's what the heck is this thing? Muringa going to try to go in for a basement entry here, possibly try to open up some more control for the Team Liquid roster. Either way, they've already got a good amount of it, and ultimately we'll see him actually take up a window position. CATsasng, no reaction. He thinks he's safe on that corner, but no, a tiny pixel or speck of his head is popped out. PSK gives his opponent a chance to react that one, but not the same thing for Yass, as Muringa is going to be able to catch that one as well, setting up a double kill for him on the inside of this round. Only 2 players left alive for DWG, and unfortunately very little damage done to anybody on Team Liquid, save for Paluh from that fight versus RIN at the beginning of the round.
The insight and game sense from Liquid right now, reading right through the plans of DWG. You can see how controlled they are in their pacing, the way that they're taking these angles, because they know that DWG are going to be going for some crazy things. Woogiman going to try and back it up. He'll be able to get it, but obviously he's been read out now, and they're going to start to apply pressure to Solarium. Frag grenade downstairs, and Paluh with a bank shot. Kobe, one would say, as he's able to get that down range. And that's going to be 5 rounds in a row for the LATAM squad.
And I mean, deserved, every single one of them.
Man,
here.
I really hope he's okay. I feel like his head's just really, really hurting today, so I hope he's all right.
Hopefully so, and give him an opportunity to quickly rebound after this, I would assume, as Liquid's looking for a quick mop-up here in 2-0 fashion.
They are all just smoking DWG right now. So to be playing on with a monitor that close to your face with a headache, and especially if it's a bad headache, I mean, tip of the cap to that, man, because I know that that's a struggle.
It's looking good for Team Liquid, and in the meanwhile, for DWG, the hard-headedness of their playstyle on this defensive side and a seeming unwillingness to change it up to allow for Team Liquid to get further into the building before they can finally get contests against them is causing them to lose quite a few rounds. A perfect 6-0 half is very much in the cards here now for Liquid if they continue to repeat and rerun the same exact checklist they have run the past 5 rounds.
So what's the answer for DWG? These early round attempts to try and get a pick onto Liquid are all for naught. They constantly are in a 5 versus 3 or 5 versus 2, depending on how many bodies they want to throw at the situation. And even past that, DWG still making attempts at the end of the round to use the other things that Liquid have already cut off before and are more than likely expecting no one to use to try and attempt to go for it again. And yeah, it gets some frags like the last round, for instance. You're able to get one outside, but you know, no assistance in the likes of team play overall. It's more individual gunfights that, yeah, they're able to win right now, but Liquid are just winning in the team department. It's been so well done.
Arguably more importantly, the gunfights that DWG here are winning are usually being won at a point where like the round is
literally
fairly over for them
anymore.
anyway.
Yeah.
So most of the frags are actually getting...
And that's saying for DWG as well.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. So they need to try and find some way to win these fights earlier on in the round here, because Liquid is just being allowed to do whatever the heck they want with their executes, and unfortunately, DK is doing nothing to stop that, or at least nothing successful. Certainly making attempts here, but every single one of them is going awry. So we'll see if they finally can make something work for themselves on this final round. There's already a very nice drone inserted into the bushes there, just over by the site itself, so Liquid's going to be able to feed themselves some good info.
Okay, well, Liquid's info game throughout all of this half has been so very solid, especially matched up with Dokkaebi on PSK, who has been playing so very well thus far, despite the issues, obviously. But for Paula, also been a big part of this info game here, or Paluh, excuse me. But either way, still been a very, very big piece to this puzzle with this Gemini. Sexy Kate going to begin blowing the wall here.
Oh,
Rin not enough time, sadly enough. Did not hear the exothermic going down in time. And if indeed stuck to the animation, more than likely would have been killed by that exothermic. So a good shot call there.
A little worried for Rin for a second. Thought he was going to try to hard commit to that. Probably would not have gone well, but thankfully realizes his mistake fairly quickly and evacuates back down to the site. Probably going to throw the rest of these batteries just on the wall here too, since not a whole lot of trick play potential to come out, save for these walls here. Yass just kind of on drone watch more than anything there on that hole. And
no, Rin, you've chosen wrong. Sexy Cake, what are you doing?
Yeah, really.
Why didn't you blow it?
I guess they weren't necessarily expecting the bandit to be down there.
I mean, I guess, but
because to be fair, that's not a very common pick from my experience, at least.
You're absolutely right. It more than likely will be in the future. And speaking of picks, John, Cat's gonna die again. 1-6-0 right now for the South Korean player. A big pickup here for Paluh. Yass will be able to refrag onto Muringa, but Sexy Cake one of his own, and the shots starting to come back and forth in between these two as we get it down into a 3 versus 3. So
here we go. This is looking much better for DWG Gaming Kia now, keeping the fight much more reserved to the site itself. Trying to bring Liquid in a little bit more before they can get anything. Woogiman is going to find a very impressive kill there against Nesk, but at the same time he lost Yass, who was his other aggressive counterpart here, trying to slow down the progression from Team Liquid. No longer will that be the case. You only have Rin and Woogiman on the site itself to fend off the attack from PSK and Paluh here. Paluh as well, having the Gemini drone to throw out here, can get that free intel on at least one of the players from the team as he moves forward. PSK will try to act on that intel from the staircase down below. Woogiman's going to have to be cautious here as he's also expecting pressure from Solarium, so he needs to get the correct read. For Team Liquid, they need to execute now because they're running out of time.
Woogiman with an opportunity here to handle the Solarium player. PSK with a beautiful shot onto Rin. They don't know where the last one is, but PSK floods in with the SMG-12. And you can see on this man's face, he's just like, please get me out of here. Like, I'm putting everything on the line for this team right now. And honestly, we respect your valiant effort, my friend. We all know how difficult it is to play with a headache like that, and you are doing a bang-up job right now. This is just absolutely incredible. A 6-0 half for Liquid off of the back of the efforts from PSK and Paluh.
So one more round is all that's needed. Obviously, we could see a comeback from DWG Gaming, but I mean, I'm not gonna rely on it.
This is so sad after Coastline.
So much hope, right? So much. We pegged this one as like, this was the good map for DWG Gaming. They had a 100% win rate on it. Their opponents seemed to like fear them playing them against this map as they banned it out every single time. Almost 30 bans from their opponents in the past history. But unfortunately, here today against Team Liquid, has not shown through, and Liquid is giving us a very, very solid performance to give us a quick 2-0 closeout.
Well, I already watched one of the craziest games that I have watched in some times, especially when it comes to, you know, just things regarding the match. And the best way to put that, obviously, would be like, just tell you guys what the game is. And it was Team 1, their tiebreaker up against Cyclops, one of the most incredible matches I've watched in some time. They were only allowed to lose 2 rounds, John. 2 rounds inside of the entirety of the game. At this moment in time, DWG, all of their playoff hopes right now lie in this Perfect Siege, which is a game where crazy things happen all of the time. It's like chess. There's basically always something that's going to be different, even when it comes down to the exact same operator lineups and the exact same map. DWG have to be flawless on this side.
And unfortunately, with the performance we saw on their defensive half, yes, I'll admit, things can be drastically different on the attacking side, but given it's a 6-0, and given the fact that Liquid seemed to have absolute control over everything DAMWON Gaming was trying to do against them, it's very hard for me to believe in that type of a comeback. But let's let the game speak for itself as we're into the round now. It's time to see what exactly DWG Kia can give us on this attacking side to give us some hope, maybe.
Well, Zofia up. That means RIN is on it. No Ash play here for the offense. So holding on to that is CATsasng will take down one. It's Paluh trying to rotate through the basement. Ends up getting his head removed. Only going to be his second death of the game, though. Is Liquid still trying to play to the Solarium side. Gonna need some assistance here inside of the utility department as he'll try and clear some things out. Cat with a beautiful angle. The way that they've been using this buck, it's a triple for Cat, and well, I might be holding my tongue for the remainder of this offensive half. We'll have to see. With a start like that, I really don't know what else to say.
I think we just super jinxed it.
Super's a player for the Sonics.
And? I keep trying to come up with some more witty. I blanked.
Got him. I win, guys. I win.
So let's see here now. CATsasng with the ultimate control over this round right here, just tearing apart all of that aggression from Liquid. PSK and NESKWGA obviously going to stick very close to the site now as they need to try and defend the OBJ inside of these final minute and 15 seconds of the round here. For DAMWON, they're going to take things nice and slow as well here, just to make sure they don't make any mistakes. Obviously, 1 round loss and they are out of this game, even with the 5v2 advantage. That could turn itself around fairly quickly if you're not careful. So they're sending all sorts of drone work, and you can even see some more flying in the back of the shot there. It's all sorts of drone work into this site to really get a lock on where these last 2 players from Liquid are going to try and play from.
That's the beauty of these early picks. They'll be able to use the maximum amount of this time to make sure that they do not make a mistake. Liquid still trying to hold on to 2 separate floors here. Sexy Cake, the lone soldier inside of the actual site. He'll get taken down. It's a flood from DWG as 3 members pile on top of him. Not a single safe angle to try and work. PSK, now the lone man alive for Liquid on the defense. That's more than likely a freebie coming in here, but oh no, the shot spray wide, but now he's locked in between 2 separate angles. Tries to come back for the window work, and Yass ready with open arms. This is going to be a flawless round to start us off.
If they were going to give us hope, that's a perfect way to do it there. DWG Gaming Kia showing us a completely different look on their attacking side, absolutely shredding specifically for CATsasng with that position in the basement there. All of the Liquid offenders that tried to take him down, as well as some of his teammates there. And then from that point forward, just a matter of making sure they don't mess up the 5v2, which they didn't. It happened in very clean fashion and a very well-deserved first round going on to the board. But it is only the first. We need to see 5 more of those to trigger overtime.
Yeah, I think the buck work really caught Liquid off guard there. It started off immediately. I don't know if you guys saw it, but our spectator caught it. Cat actually ended up stepping right inside the garage door, popped the hatch, and then shot up through Trophy to check the corner of Solarium with that skeleton key. Got the initial frag that we saw, but then moved over to create an angle for the bottom of Solarium stairs, so that when you try and rotate out, you just get screwed from the bottom angle that no one is prepared for. That's one that's basically never used. It even caught Liquid off guard there. So, you know, obviously Liquid tried to fight back. They dropped somebody down the hatch, but Cat also good for that frag as well, up against NESK of all people. And, well, when you start off at a 5v2 with 2 minutes, it's going to be a far cry to try and win that round if you're the defense.
So let's see if Liquid will have better odds on their next site choice here. They did try to go for the kitchen defense in the first round. This time is going to be the bar hold, where we have seen probably the most success. I don't have the stats in front of me right now, so I don't know exactly, but I believe usually the most success for defenders on this site. Let's see if that will hold itself true once again, as Liquid still looking for the quick closeout for themselves. And DWG Gaming looking for the comeback of the century, down from an 0-6 deficit. They're trying to take it to overtime. They even know already there's no chance of winning this in regulation. If they're going to win it, they've got to come all the way back from the brink to pick up virtually 8 rounds in a row.
Also, I don't believe we've had a timeout yet.
We have not.
We have, yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure, because this has been going so very quickly thus far. Just wanted to double check. So yes, no timeout used by DWG yet. And obviously, as we've been stating this entire time, they're 1 round away from a loss. So they feel as though they can do this under their own power. We'll have to see if they can do it going forward. Obviously, the site change here for Liquid, they're going to be focusing things on library and trying to keep this locked up for the time being. We'll see how they want to abuse this lineup on the offense, especially CATsasng in this situation. The Bucks not going to have as much influence as it once did.
Sexy Cake, he's thinking about it for sure, as he's got the lean out. He's smart if he checks, though, because there is going to be a Claymore position there. So if he hops out, it'll be a very quick death against himself. And Rin will feel a lot more secure as a result of that. Rin will continue to hold the side window and heads into the library as well as over towards the blue steps there. Gets the ping onto the player that's holding the wall outside of library, but unfortunately the angle does not favor the window peak just as of yet. PSK is instead worried about the players on the outside balcony over closer towards Ego there. So as a result of that, Rin is going to be able to eventually find success isolating out Sexy Cake of all people. He tries to make that push from the looks of it over by the window. He pays the price. Once again, DWG Gaming getting an advantage to build off here in the early round.
So, advantage to work off of now, but the good news for Liquid is it's not nearly as many bodies. Muringa will take down Woogiman as well, and they'll equalize going into the last minute. Plenty of utility here for Muringa to use inside of sight, especially for these toxic babes that are going to deny that space and make planting ever more difficult for the offense. DK, though, have to try and find some answers, but it's not for their side to say. It's for Paluh to say instead. He'll take down one. Rin trying to surge forward in through library hallway. But starting to see the entirety of this top floor is clear. They'll take down the default cam inside a fireplace, but the timer dwindling, and also Liquid set up with some plays across the map.
Liquid with that security now, holding back on the aggression. They don't need to throw it at DWG Gaming anymore. Now that they have the player count in their favor, Yass opens up the hatch, tries to see if anything free will present itself, but certainly not the case here. Nice ping coming out, but it's still not going to lead to anything against the Team Liquid roster, just as of yet. Muringa instead strikes next, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very quickly, the rest of the DK roster falls, and with that, Team Liquid take this quarterfinal 2-0 in their favor, and they push themselves forward into the semifinals.
I feel so very sorry for DK that it had to end like that, but still an amazing showing from them on Coastline. And I said this a couple of days ago,